Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah and you're watching So Beauty Stuff. Today I want to talk to you about how to do your makeup when you're wearing glasses. So I've teamed up with Smart Buy Glasses to bring you this video. So I am a glasses wearer when I have close work, so if I'm on a computer for a long time or if I'm reading, or generally if my eyes get tired, I need to wear reading glasses. This particular pair is from their Arise collective and this is the Fabio frame. They're clear frames with the sort of tortoise shell arm. You can get them in different colours as well. And these are also prescription and they're also anti-glare, so when there's bright light like now in front of me, they do tint so that you don't get any of that glare in your eyes. So first things to think about when you're thinking about how to do your makeup underneath your glasses. As you can see, when you are wearing glasses, they are framing your face. This is going to be where the focus is drawn to immediately. So we need to think about what's inside the lens. We don't want to be starting to put eye makeup where you can't see it or stretch it out. Also, don't forget that your eyes are most likely going to look magnetized, so anything you do is going to make them look bigger already. So we want to avoid any dark colors, any over dramatic eyes, because our eyes are already going to be a large focus of our face. So we're going to keep it quite natural, but we're also going to make sure we're concealing any dark areas and keep it nice and light, nice and bright. And once we do eyes, we'll then talk about doing the rest of the face. So I'm currently getting ready to move house, so I only have a small amount of makeup that I haven't already packed. So I'm working out of a makeup bag at the moment. I'm gonna start by priming my lids with a paint pot in soft ochre. So it's just gonna take away any of the dark areas. So I'm gonna make sure I cover my whole lid, but also this inner corner section. And I'm gonna go right up to the brow and just blend that in. Already we can see what a difference that makes to the two eyelids. Okay, so I've got the primer on, so now I'm gonna set that. I'm just using my Kat Von D Shade Light Eye for this. So I'm gonna go all over the lid with this base color. Okay, so that's the base. So now let's just put the glasses on. Let's put the glasses back on so we can get an idea of what we can see. With these frames, I can still see all of my eyebrows, so we're gonna make sure we do those as normal, keep them nice and groomed. We can also see a lot of underneath my eye area, so we're gonna have to make sure that we conceal that nicely and make everything look really clean and neat. And where the top of the frame sits, I'm gonna use a brush to show this, is about here. So if I shut my eye, we don't wanna take any of our shadow above here, because we wanna keep everything inside the frame. So I'm gonna start by just defining a little bit of a crease. I'm gonna stick using the same palette. I'm gonna use this orange shade here. And I'm just gonna look where my eye naturally creases and follow that. So I'm gonna take a slightly finer brush and a slightly darker color. I'm actually gonna take this shade here. And going in sort of a similar position but with a tighter line, I'm gonna start blending into that crease a bit more. And I'm just using really small circular motions to make sure that we get a nice blended line. And I'm focusing it more on the outside and slowly bringing it in. And then windscreen wiper motions just to get that nice and blended. And what we're starting to get now is a really nice defined lid shape. And then taking a slightly darker color again, we're gonna start focusing this a lot more in just this outer corner. And just slightly bring it up so we're doing sort of a V shape in the outer corner. And then we can take a clean brush and just make sure that this outside corner is nice and blended. We don't want a line. So basically what we want to do, because everyone's going to get such a good look at our eyes, they're magnified, they're framed, we just want to make sure they're really open and really pretty. I'm just taking that base color we used again to enhance this lighter color in the inner corner. Now normally I would then say to go to the under part of the eye, but obviously we haven't done our base yet, so we'll look at that next before we move on. So when you're thinking about doing a base, things you need to consider is where the frame is sitting. So if you have a look at these particular glasses, they have quite a wide part here that's going to be sitting on my nose, but also this bottom part of the frame is most likely going to be resting on my cheek here. So while it's not constantly touching, there is a small gap, so there is a chance that could press against there. But this part of the frame is actually in contact with my nose from here all the way down to here. So across this, we're going to have a big line. If we wear these all day, if we're taking them on and off, they're going to rest and they're going to leave a mark. So what we don't want to happen is to have a really heavy coverage foundation that this is just going to wear through and then you can have foundation all over your glasses and a big red line down your nose. We don't want that. So we're just gonna go in really, really lightly with our foundation and make sure it's nicely blended. So I'm gonna prime my face with some MAC Strobe Cream. And this is basically like a illuminating moisturizer, so you don't need loads. And I have already moisturized as well. It's gonna add a really nice luminosity. Then I'm gonna go in with my L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow. This is a nice medium coverage foundation, and it's not too heavy on the skin. I'm just gonna use a little bit of my finger to just dot it around. Now normally you would always start in the center of your face to get the most coverage, but we really wanna thin this out. So I'm just gonna sort of lightly pat it into my skin with my finger. I'm not applying any in the nose area, I'm applying it outside of the nose area and then dragging that in. And we don't want to take this right up to the eye, but do make sure that you cover the under eye area because we want good coverage on any dark circles. If you watch my channel for a long time, I'm not normally a massive Morphe fan, but this brush I like. I'm just using this to buff into the skin. So when I'm coming to my nose, I'm making sure I'm really pushing that in and taking away any excess because we don't want there to be a heavy amount of makeup there. And it's good, very buildable foundation, so if you have any redness still showing through, you can just go over that with the brush. If you can hear that noise, it's my husband in the shower. I feel like it's his favourite time to shower when I'm filming a video. And for concealer, I'm going to use the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. This is a really good, long-lasting concealer that doesn't crease. It can get a little bit heavy on some people, so do go lightly, and you really, really don't need a lot of this. So I've just squirted out the tiniest drip on my hand, and I'm just going to use my finger. I really don't have very much at all, and I'm just going to dab that and making sure that I'm going right into this inner area here to make sure I've covered up any darkness there, and I'm just blending it out under the eye. So I'm dabbing it on with one finger and then blending it with another, and you can use brushes for this, but really pushing it into the skin with the warmth of your finger is going to really help this to not move once you set it. An area of my nose that's not going to be under my glasses is the bridge here. So if I have any redness on there I want to cover up, I can go ahead and do that. So if you are worried about your nose looking red, it's also obviously a great method of starting your contour. So I'm now taking the XO Beauty Tapered Face Brush. I'm using this in sort of a pushing, dabbing motion just to make sure any product that is sitting on my skin is being pushed right in there, and also it will pick up any excess product that's just sat on top, making sure that I've got a really nice blend. Okay, now setting it. It can be really tempting when you get to a setting powder to chuck on loads because you really want to set it, but that's going to lead to more caking. The more powder you use, the more cakey it can get. Obviously with things like baking, if your skin is used to baking and doesn't go dry with baking, you can absolutely do that. But I tend to feel that less is more. You just want to just set everything. So I'm using the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. Mine's almost empty, so I have to use it upside down. So I'm using a My Kit Co 1.7. I think this is called like a all-purpose brush or something. I'm not really sure. But I'm picking up a really small amount of powder on my brush and making sure it's covered on all surfaces, and then I'm going to tap off any excess. So the brush is coated, but only very lightly. And then I'm just going to sort of use really, really light sweeping motions under my eye, down the bridge of my nose. So now we can go back in with the eyeshadow and finish off the eye. So I'm going to go underneath the eye to balance it out. And if you want to as well, you can go along the top lash line and mimic the same sort of smoked lash line. Now that I've done that lower lash line, I think I can go a little bit heavier in this outer corner. I'm just lightly buffing that into the outer corner. And of course, if you want to, you can go with some shimmer. This is the Soft Glam Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. I'm going to load up a flat brush with glistening and just push it into this part of my lid, and that shimmer is going to really brighten that up as well. And of course, another great way to finish off an eye is with using a little bit of highlighter, the Balm Mary Luminizer, and just pop that in the inner corner and a little bit up in this brow bone. So there's a really natural eye that's going to look great under glasses. Now I'm going to do my brows and finish my base. So I'm going to keep it all quite natural, and then I'm going to come back to finish with the lips. Okay, so before we move on to lips, the one thing I forgot to touch on is mascara. So obviously, if you're thinking about your eyelashes touching your lenses, you may end up getting mascara on them. So when you're applying, just make sure that you're really focusing the product at the base to get that lift, and then just flick it really gently at the tips, so that you've not got heaps of product on the tips of your lashes. So really wiggle that at the base, and then... So the final thing is lips. Now obviously I've got a really natural look, but once I put the glasses on, my eyes are going to be a big focus again, because they're going to be massively framed by the glasses. So you can balance this out by going bold with your lip. So I'm going to go in with a red. This is the YSL Rouge Per Couture, and it's a mini size, so it doesn't have the name written on it, but I will list it down below what it is. But it's a gorgeous sort of orangey red. So now for the moment of truth. So as you can see, this is really magnifying my eyes, so the fact that I've made them look big and open just makes them look really beautiful and when they're magnetized and they're made bigger. The brows are nice and groomed, so that's balancing out the glasses. You've got a nice frame above them, and then a bold lip to even out where the focus is. So I hope you found this useful. If you did, give my video a thumbs up. I'll be linking where to get these glasses from below. As I said, I was gifted these glasses, and so I'm working on this video in conjunction with Smart Buy Glasses. What's great about their glasses, you can choose any frame and you can choose whether they're prescription or not. They have sunglasses and reading glasses. So go check them out. I'll leave the link below. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to check out my blog and my socials. They'll all be linked in my description. And if you like this video, feel free to subscribe so you don't miss my future ones. And hopefully, I will see you next time. Bye. So I thought I'd do a really quick update. I haven't been wearing my glasses, but I have been wearing sunglasses today. You can see there is a slight red mark on my nose just from the the glasses being sat there, but there's no real smudging of my foundation. I can just tap it with my finger and it goes away. So if I had a really thick layer of foundation on, I think it would be a really obvious mark. So I think it's good to go with a lighter layer.